Welcome, everyone. Can you hear us? Can you see us on this day of our 21st episode of the Dojocast?
They're old enough to drink.
Oh, congratulations! You guys can all drink now.
No.
Everyone in the chat.
No. I don't want to be responsible for that.
Yeah, you're all you have to do is 20. It's something with 21. It could be 21 weeks. I think that could be what it is.
20 episodes.
You should probably look into it though. But yeah, today is an interactive episode where you guys can join us by asking your questions and hanging out with us as we're chilling in a theater. We're in a theater today.
We're in a small private movie theater I rented out for us. You recommended a circus, but like that just seemed
I
like
did.
The cost of renting out a whole circus was way more than you would think.
True. And you know what? This reminds me of my childhood because these remind me of like the older theaters. Like I feel like every theater I go into now has like really fancy brand new seats, and these remind me of like the old school late 90s movie theater seats.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It takes me back.
Yeah, I don't really have any memories like that.
Can't relate. Okay, first of all, do you like going to the movies?
No, I hate movie theaters.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, here's the thing. Conceptually, and if you know me, you know that I really shouldn't want to go to movie theaters. It's like kind of a lot of things that I don't usually like all at once. But there's some special niche about whatever it is about a movie theater that I just love being there. I guess because like everything about it doesn't make sense. Like I don't want to be surrounded around a bunch of strangers. I have good enough sound system and television at home, so like it doesn't really warrant the paying $50 for popcorn and soda. But I just enjoy it. I really can't explain it. I love the experience of it, and I love watching films.
Wait. Where's Hyun?
Wait a minute. What do you mean? Is he going to the bathroom or something?
I got our names. I brought our names back. Oh, that's the wrong one. Never mind.
Oh,
we're going without names this episode. Yeah,
that's fine.
Man, upkeep it. I think we left the couch and also by proxy Hyun at the swamp.
Oh no! Wait, I thought you were gonna get the couch and him.
Okay, to be fair, I did ask for help. That was on me. I realized I forgot, but I asked for, people to go and like fetch the couch. I don't know if anyone did. We might need to get a new couch.
Oh, dude, I remember now. I do remember you saying that. I totally spaced it. I was like thinking about Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah.
And it was raining outside. Oh,
yeah.
You think he's good or? Did he call somebody? Or?
He'll figure it out. He's an adult who died and then was resurrected into a homunculus.
This can't be the worst scenario.
No, he's been through. He can come back, right?
He was so good. He was chilling, dude. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
You don't have to worry about it.
I'll call him after the podcast and I'll see.
After it's we're so confident about it. It's so not a big deal.
Yeah. And I'm like,
after
he'd want us to keep going.
The show must, dude. The show must go. Obviously,
the show must go on.
He's been dead and been here, and the show goes on. So
yeah. No, he gets it. He gets it.
Break.
And he was never mad at us for that either.
Not even a little bit.
He dragging him along. Yeah, no, not once was he irritated that.
No, a real professional.
We dragged his corpse into a recording session. Or a live stream, actually.
You know what? Honestly, he would do the same for us. Either of us, for sure.
He absolutely would. Well, I mean, we couldn't really do this without me. Well, maybe we could. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe we should
fundamentally, that's right.
Maybe
we could.
Maybe I should die.
Wanna? I think you're just for for the meme though. Like you could do it for the meme.
Yeah, for the meme. For sure. That's what I meant.
Hey, wouldn't it be funny if? Wouldn't it be funny if I?
I'll reach out to Hyun. But hello, everyone. Yeah, this is going to be an interactive episode. So we're going to be talking to you. So talk with us. You're a part of the show.
You are part of the show.
But just before this, just before we started, Stone saw my tweet from today.
Yes. What is
Or wait, no,
that
it's
about?
from yesterday or the day before. Yeah, so let me pull that up. It was really funny.
Well, okay. Pause before we even started.
Yeah.
It was just up, right? And I just started reading it, and it's such a very specific thing to say that at first he didn't even acknowledge. He was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, and I was like,
And,
what, did
and,
he
they,
lose
they
it?
had to like trigger in his brain what I was saying. I was like, "How would you not know me saying that?" But anyway,
Going. Yeah, it's
It's
this
so
video. He's talking about this
specific.
video. Yeah, it was
But googly going,
getting
googly going.
messages. So I had to give context on this silly little video. A friend of mine's thumb. I texted him while we were in a voice chat to see if I could get him to like point it out, and then I don't know, it'd be funny. And then I got a response. Come on, it's Stas. I'm like, what? Okay, but he didn't respond in voice chat either. So I'm like, okay, let me just try and send him an image, and maybe he'll tell me to shut up. And then they responded in Spanish again. So I was like, Islam, are you getting this? Like, are you getting my messages? He's like, no. So I was just talking to someone else under Tham's name, and then I asked Tham to start messaging me. And every bagoogly going, that's actually Tham. So it was just combining those two messages, because like two different numbers were sending me messages in the same. I don't know. What
The same contact. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was a group chat with a random stranger, but it's not. It's one contact, and it's like the phone was like, oh, he wants to message this guy, and you're messaging that random stranger, and then your phone's like, oh, just kidding. That's not actually who he knows at all, and that's not the right area code. So let's get him with this actual friend, and it just like mid text message rerouted you to the person you were actually texting in the first place. It's like it made a mistake.
Yeah. But I do feel bad for whoever got this message.
I don't. I think it's made their day. I would be so, you know, like somewhere on the other side of the planet, he's doing this to somebody else. He's like, you guys won't believe this. You guys are not
I've
gonna
inspired him to start doing the same, to start messaging random people. This oomph, and then this one image.
What's even funnier is there's no way he can predict what was said after this. Like, because you know, after you never messaged again. He just got one message in a photo.
Oh, well, I did actually message him again. Because
you did? Oh, okay.
He responded. Lunsar, can you unmute and tell me what they were saying? Like, what is Espiro Kids? Because we translated it in the call.
It means I hope you feel.
I hope you feel. Yeah.
I hope you feel. That's so profound.
So then oh God, hang on, I gotta find. I think I might have deleted it, but I sent them back something weird, and then I just never got a response. So. Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's so wonderful. This is funny because I keep getting a bunch of calls and texts from random people. I just reply with random ass photos. You do the same thing?
Oh man.
TSO?
Maybe I was the one who contacted you. Did I inspire you?
Dude,
TSO? Hell
this
yeah.
could become the new meta for text messaging. We go from not answering any phone call that we don't recognize the number to just randomly giving selfies out to stir.
Yeah.
It's like what must have been what started the conversation for the people who created Omegle. They're like, what if you could just get randomly paired with random strangers all the time? They're like, we could do that now.
What if we just have Bagoogly going day?
Bagoogly
one
going
day of the year, everyone messages a random number.
Dude, yeah. That would be so good.
What day was that? That was November 29th. Yeah, November 29th. Everyone mark down in your calendars is Bagoogly going day.
And you have to do an obscure photo and send a Bagoogly going to a random messenger, like a random phone number. And then you have to we have to catalog and collage them all together. Everyone's best Bagoogly going experience that they had.
Yeah.
It's like you have to keep Bagoogly going until you have a good response. Like you can't it's not acceptable to stop at the first one that no one replied to, you know? You're like, well, at least I tried. Yeah. No, you have to get someone like, Mom?
Get them invested.
I haven't talked to me in 10 years. Who is this guy? Or whatever, you know?
Make them juicy. Make them convert them into Bagoogly.
Convert them. Yep. Yep.
Make sure
And
you
then they have to
explain it
get
and
it.
mark it down on their calendars for them.
Oh, then we have a running counter of how many people are actively bagoogly going,
Yeah.
and then you have to report back how many people you've converted.
Yeah. I wonder how many people are actually going to remember this. Because I
it's
guarantee
gonna be
you, by
remembered.
tomorrow, I'm going to completely forget this was a thing.
I won't because it's so incredibly specific. That's why I was saying this is the beginning of what I said. I was like, when I said bagoogly going, that should have triggered in your brain as like a hyper specific moment.
Well, you
in your
see,
recent memory that can only be the one thing.
my friend's thumb is a creature. And he
Okay,
just
well, I see
does
that.
shit like this. So whenever I hear
respect
something
this.
like that, that's just my friend group's. That's the language they speak.
They speak bagoogly.
Yeah. I have a
Bagoogly?
video. I have a video I animated a while ago called Yippity Doo Dah. God, I gotta pull it up. It's one of my best videos. But we were playing Minecraft, and then Loonstar just spat that out of nowhere. And
Dude,
it's my favorite thing.
It's peak use of free will. That's my new favorite thing. It's just like a bunch of people doing the firsts in the universe of all time, like the first kind of everything that's ever been done.
Yeah. There's this one.
Let's see.
Minecraft songs were a banger.
Yo, cause like, why are they so banging?
Wait a minute.
My favorite.
Oh, wait.
Updated the server
That's
to
not the
1.20.
button I
All
meant
the
to
structures
press.
that we originally found-
That was a mistake.
I was like, dang, I don't know where this is going at all now.
Whoops. All right,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay,
Here
let's
we
try
go.
this again.
A banger.
Yo, cause like, why are they so banging?
Wait a minute.
My favorite.
Because we updated the server to 1.20, all the structures that we originally found are now like they're refilled.
What?
Yeah, I looked back at this old structure that I already found in his mine. There's new stuff in it. I just found more diamonds.
Yippity-doo-dah! Let's go raiding.
What the fuck did you just say? What the fuck? Why did I? Okay.
I think I laughed so loud. I think Discord.
No, it
suppressed
didn't pick up. It
screamed.
didn't pick up, unfortunately.
I literally was screaming, "Yippity doodah! Yippity doodah!"
Yeah, he just pulled that out. It felt. Oh, it's so wonderful.
That's so
Oh,
good.
man. No, but like
That's
that's
so
the
good.
energy of my friend group. So like, bagoogly going is not that. You know,
It's
it
mine.
doesn't
It's not even that
trigger me
niche.
as something specific. That's
Yeah,
just a normal
I get-
day
I
in,
get
in my
that.
Discord.
Yippity doodah!
Thank you, Loonstar, for being our producer, by the way.
Yeah, dude. The likelihood, if you yippity doodah, the likelihood that you skedaddle is pretty high. I would say. I think you probably skedaddle on
Yeah.
on a regular basis. Someone
Oh,
who
man.
yippity doodah, for sure. You skedaddle.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
But this whole episode is gonna feel like one big icebreaker, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
gonna be awesome.
You know what's funny is like I need to tie this in to the title somehow because I do
yeah.
think this is important because I feel like okay, I don't know if you've ever been part of like, and you must have, storyboarding things,
Yep.
like for animation and things.
Yeah, I'm storyboarding my
I can
movie.
tell you, the experience we're having right now is the vibe and feeling that you have in like peak storyboarding environment. Like when you're storyboarding in a group together on something, it is like especially if it's based around humor and you're just kind of like improvising back and forth. I could tell you there's so many shows that are made around this similar kind of relaxed and free environment that allows for the best of best unique writing in shows. I'm almost sure like have you seen any like I don't know, there's one I guess that I can think of like Rick and Morty. Have you seen like Rick and Morty's storyboard sessions that they've recorded and stuff?
No, I haven't.
No. Okay. It's like a hangout with a loose subject of the improv matter being the thing that they're creating. And yeah, and that's why I think that's when you get these like wildly specific like me saying if you see a yippity doodah, is the likelihood that he skedaddles is pretty high because I don't know if like, you know what I mean, like that kind of a thing. How hyper like specific and odd that it is at the same time is actually where a lot of like good storyboarding and writing comes in, and so that environment of improv and stuff is actually pretty big in the storyboarding in character creation world. That's why I think it's really cool when people like I get people that DM me characters that they make all the time. I'm like, dude, some of them are so intricate and so in depth, but so simple at the same time. Like a lot of these like OCs that people send me, and I'm like, I can only come up with those kinds of ideas working with people. I can't do it by myself. I don't know what it is. I have to have someone to like bounce ideas from back and forth to talk to.
I get that in like. So I guess to pull from my own experiences, I've only ever storyboarded 2 things, and I understand the environment for storyboarding in Alan Becker's team in his production. Storyboarding is usually an individual task. Like I've never heard of a scenario where it's done in a group. Everyone usually just kind of goes off and does their own thing. Like even in my movie or the show that I'm writing, we have like group writing sessions where we like pitch ideas and like jokes. But then when it comes to the storyboard portion, at least for the show, for the pilot episode that we're working on, I storyboarded the entire thing myself, all on my own, without any other real collaborative effort, because we already kind of did that in the writing stage.
True. Like I guess it just comes down to like the type of individuals you're working with, like what works best for them. For me, like I'm at my peak creativity when I can bounce like ideas and concepts off of people. I feel like I come up with better ideas when I'm just talking out loud and there's someone that could be like, but what if, and then I can build on that and my brain just like spurs from that, slingshotting me ahead. But you absolutely could do, does not have to be a group thing, but that's where I thrive. It's like that improv environment, I guess you could say. 'Cause it's kind of an improv environment, you know?
Yeah, I guess it also depends on like when you do that story building stage and writing stage, making most of the jokes. That could also be done on the storyboard stage, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it depends on the director of whatever the project may be.
Right. Yeah, they're gonna be the one that's gonna take the lead on what they need. Like if I'm a director and I'm storyboarding and it's like any kind of comedy thing, I'd want this environment, like legitimately, just like this, where we're just like talking about whatever, and we can riff it into whatever the characters are talking about or doing. This skedaddling yippity doo-dah character.
Interesting.
You know what I feel like this place would smell like too? Because again, this is like a hyper specific location for me. It kind of smells like it would be like musty. This smells like this looks like it'd be a musty theater, dude. Look at the cubes in the background. They look like they're not even like perfectly placed. They're kind of like
I mean, they look like I don't know, like just painted bricks though, right?
They kind of do. It looks like it was like a concrete wall, and then someone's nephew came through and they're like, all right, make sure these look kind of square, and they just took like a pencil and shaped them into cubes, like just out of like soft concrete. They made them look like they're cubes or bricks.
It's I don't know. I don't know how to bounce off of that.
I don't know. I'm looking at the chat too. Bathroom tile, yes.
Oh yeah,
Abaraz. It looks like
looks
like bathroom tile.
If the joints in between all the squares were a different color, then yeah. Well, maybe they just painted over them. What if they are tiles?
Ew.
Oh,
if
they
are
might be tiles, because like maybe the light from the theater screen might be making them look a little different. I don't know.
I would imagine how old this place looks, that some of the tiles would be like cracked or busted or falling off. Like one of them would be missing somewhere.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be the same for bricks though too?
I mean, I guess bricks. I guess, you know.
The insightful commentary you get on the Dojocast.
It's good, dude. This is what the guestless experience is like, man.
Yeah, no, I enjoy these. The one that we've done before, I did, because we argued about candy corn for 30 minutes.
And that actually carried over to multiple episodes.
Oh yeah,
multiple.
You know what I got?
No way, no shot.
You know what I got? I wish I set up a camera for this, but I got candy corn.
No way, dude.
Yeah, I got candy corn, and it's been sitting here since the beginning of October, and I've never touched it.
You know what's crazier? It's been sitting there since 1954 when they stopped producing it.
No.
I'm confident. I'm so confident that they just pick out the candy corn every year out of the dumpster and then just repackage it. Because there's... I feel like they
so
stopped making it in the
mean.
50s or 60s, dude. They just recollect
So
it.
mean. You know what? We're having a first ever here for the podcast. 1 second.
Let's see it,
keep yapping on about something. I'm gonna get a camera. I'm gonna get a camera.
I'm finna do it, dude. Camera.
I'm gonna get a camera. 1 second. Well, I can't do your camera, unfortunately. Oh wait,
That's all right.
1 second.
If you powered on my camera right now, I would be baffled. I would just let it.
Cool,
yeah, if you somehow took control and powered on my unplugged camera that's near me.
Video capture device. There I am.
There we go. The juice is worth the squeeze.
1 second.
Here we go. Here we go.
Wait, what if I did this? Wait. Wait, okay, wait, check this out,
Dude.
Hell yeah.
You can even crop it, dude. You have the technology.
Oh yeah, I
yeah,
totally
you know how.
could.
You can perfectly crop it. Yep. Yes, sir.
Wait, just so it's my head. I need it to just be my head.
You can make
but I
it
can't move
almost
all.
perfect. Yep.
Yeah. Hang on. We're doing this. Oh yeah, there we go. All right. Anyway.
Oh, you're animating! This isn't fair!
See?
No way!
Candy corn.
Oh, dude, I've never seen a whole, like, non-bite-sized individual person bag of candy corns. Oh, wait a minute. Those are, like, it's brown on the bottom? Or are they, like,
There's
chocolate
some
edition?
that are brown. There are some that are brown. I think it's just
Those are the
some
ones from the
candy corn
50s.
is. But, like...
What?
Yeah, so there's the... I don't know why I'm trying to move closer. There's the classic, and then there's the brown.
And they don't explain it. They're just like candy corn. They're all in
Well,
there.
they probably taste the same, but like, yeah.
Okay, let's do some science here. Wait, are you eating just the colored bottom right now? Like
Well,
the one
just
chunk?
because this is how you eat it. You eat it. You don't chuck the whole thing in. You gotta like bite a bit off, savor it.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm not a professional. Yeah, I have one step, and it's just trash can. So I
But,
don't
you could
know,
also do that.
what the... No way. Do we gotta call somebody? Is this like a... Who has poison control available? No way.
I'm back.
That's crazy. Guys, he just completely raw dogged a whole mouthful of it.
I will say multiple at a time is not great.
No, what the heck?
Oh, no, I'm not having a good time right now, I will admit. But one at a time is great. Like, there could be too much of things.
100%.
I need to spit this out.
No, you make one candy corn out of that now, and you reform it, and then you eat it like a Pop-Tart.
So yeah, I think candy corn is great in moderation, like many things.
Yeah, ranked candy corn eating is insane. Yeah, that's what I quit. That's what I quit. There's too many sweats. Too many sweats in ranked candy corn. As soon as they were like, you're like, I was like, wait, you're eating just one chunk? You're like, yeah, you have to eat it one. I'm like, okay, first of all, pause. Right off the bat, I didn't know there were rules. Okay, I saw candy, and my brain thought,
like,
eat the candy, and it was. Whoa. Okay.
But like, if you eat them enough, then eventually you'll learn by habit like how to and how not to eat candy corn.
I couldn't get past the tutorial. I
imagine first eating tacos as a baby. You're probably gonna start like picking everything out of the taco itself.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because like, oh, how do you tackle a taco? Like you have to learn how to eat certain things, or like how to even cut a steak. Like when you're a kid, like you have to be taught. It's like you have to be taught how to eat candy corn. I'm like half serious and half joking.
Someone needs to write this down, dude. I didn't know there was a whole like rubric to it. I thought you just like took it and you tasted it and you were like, "Oh, this sucks." And did you just remember that?
It's a delicacy.
No, man. It's a delicacy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. First of all, delicacy as a term is always, in my opinion, used to describe something awful. Like that's how you know. Fundamentally, you have to describe it as such because you're like, hey, the bottom of the heel, the skin of the heel of your foot is a delicacy in some places. You're like, okay, well now. It's off. That sounds awful, and that's why you use delicacy because you're like you can't understand it in any other way other than that sounds radical to you, but somewhere that's like really fancy.
That's kind of how I hear people describe like liking beers. They kind of have to teach themselves to like it. Like I don't drink alcohol,
that's the truth.
And I've tried beer before. but it tastes so awful. Like, I'm not going to keep drinking it just because of the
It
people
doesn't taste
around
good.
me.
I did the same thing. I went through that phase. I've never been a drinker my whole life. I don't drink at all anymore. I haven't drank for years and years. But I would. There was a time where I would get like a beer while I'd made dinner. Right? Like I just made it I have one beer while I make dinner. It's like part of the fun thing. But it's like I went through that same thing of like I have to like convince myself that I'm enjoying this. Like I don't like. Part of me is like, okay, it's kind of refreshing, but I'm like, I would rather have like an iced tea or a soda or something if I want something that actually tastes good. But yeah, it sucks. It's one of those things, and I think that's a good way to describe candy corn is that you'd have to like acquire the taste for it.
I guess
it's a journey I'm not willing to take.
When we do the inevitable episode where we do it in person, where they have candy corn down your throat.
Yeah, they have like the Bean Boozled things. Mine's just candy corn. Like it's just candy. There's no mixture of beans. It's just candy corn. I'm like, no, no.
It's either like an actual jelly bean or a candy corn, and they're so visually distinctly different.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know, man. I'm pretty sure this is a candy corn.
No, it's just shaped different.
No, man, you get me every time. Yeah. This is not jelly bean. You promised. It's just a candy corn shaped jelly bean. Relax.
We should probably loop in why animation is critical before we lose the point too soon.
Okay. This is okay. We were talking about this briefly before we got started.
Yeah.
I was saying that frequently I've seen where music has been tied to the change of society and the change of culture, right? They can tie different either pop songs or popular songs of the time or classical music or anything that has to do with different time periods. They like to tie music to those time periods. And I think that animation is also a huge something that moves the meter. Either socially it moves the meter or society moves the meter through animation. Because if I want to pick a time period, right? Like for me, 90s animation was really critical. That's when I was, from 1990 to 2000 is where I became 10, right? And a lot of the time during that period, we had a lot of like really, really big 2D Disney hit films. A couple that stick out are like The Lion King and Aladdin, right? And to me, those are like very 90s cartoons. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me. I mean, when you think of those, do you see those as 90s culture, 90s themed?
Like the OG Mickey Mouse? Or no, which one?
No, like Disney, Aladdin, Disney.
Those.
Disney, Aladdin, Disney, Lion King.
Yeah,
to me, those are like
those
90s, are like very 90s,
2000s.
Right, like it's identifiable, and not just because it's like it's identifiable because it's the oldest, right? Like you see Steamboat Willie, yeah, you're like that's identifiable because it's like the beginning, it's the oldest
beginning for
right?
Disney, yeah,
exactly
for Disney.
But I feel like where culture or society is at the time, the things that make it up as a collective, animation plays a role in that I think isn't discussed very much, and I think we've lost touch of that for a little while, where we kind of transitioned into almost everything being 3D. Because I feel like, not necessarily. I mean, for me, it feels that way because it's kind of like where my childhood started to end is when everything transitioned into needing to be 3D. Like the early emergence of CG, like Toy Story and Shrek and like some of like the earlier-ish pioneers of like big film going full 3D, and then pretty much everything after that. And I honestly hated that time period. I hated that, like, I don't know. I've never been a big fan of the models. Not that I hate 3D as a medium collectively, but I never liked that kind of art style as a whole. I've always preferred 2D, and I don't know again if it's because of my time frame of growing up or if that is normal. Like, where do you fit in that?
Well,
like, comparison to 2D, 3D.
So I was born in 2001, so I was born in that transition stage from traditional 2D animation to beginning to enter the digital 2D animation stage. And then very quickly, soon thereafter, 3D animation was a thing. The thing that really kicked it off, I believe, was Toy Story 1.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of industry. I remember hearing. I forget exactly where, but I heard a lot of industry professionals at that time. Like once they saw Toy Story, they're like, "Oh, this is the death of 2D animation," and
Yeah.
they were kind of right. It was like
They were kind of right.
they had opened Pandora's box because everything is so much more efficient when it's done by a computer, and they had like you don't need to keep redrawing the same character over and over again every single frame. You don't even need like to hire someone to do a ref sheet. You just need someone to build a model for the character,
Yeah,
and then maybe some systems to
conceptually-
automate other things.
Yeah, when you conceptually think about it, it just seems wildly more efficient. You're just like your
Yeah.
brain like explodes from an executive level that doesn't understand animation. They're like, "What? Like you could just make a Mickey and then just
Yeah.
move it around?"
Yeah, but like the tragic part is that there's a lot of stuff that gets that you can't do, or at least at the time
Flavor,
you couldn't
personality.
do in 3D. They've been able to implement more of the traditional principles of animation and a lot of 2D effects into modern 3D animation. Most identifiably Spider-Verse movies, and then there was Puss in Boots:
Yes.
The Last Wish. There's been a lot of movies
That-
recently that are
yes.
beginning to implement the actual like you're beginning to see 3D models being broken and shaped in weird ways to
Yes.
to imitate smears like you would in 2D animation.
Yes, they got that flavor back. I was
Yeah.
talking about that, and this is no spoilers about Arcane.
Yes.
Arcane does that beautifully. Where initially, when I first saw those couple still shots way early on, before I actually saw the show in any capacity, I was like, "Oh no! I hope this doesn't ruin the experience for me." And it totally did not, because at no moment do you feel that these characters are rigid or plastic or
Yeah.
shiny or stuck in any bounding box whatsoever. You get tons of incredible impact frames, squash and stretch, flavor of movement and creativity, and it's like the rubber band snapped back. It started at 2D animation. 2D animation got a lot of flavor and personality and grew, and then it ventured into 3D, and it got really rigid, and it got put into a box, and then it feel like the rubber band has snapped back, and we're at this part where it's taking the best of what we earned and like about 3D, and then we also pulled in a lot of the things we appreciated about 2D and like 2D anime into like the film space. And I think it's again at a really good spot. And I think culturally and socially is kind of how we got there, because I don't feel like I'm alone in saying that a lot of us felt that we didn't like that kind of 3D boxed in, less flavorful, less personality animation. And then now, and we preferred 2D, and it's like society and animation is reflecting that, and it's allowed us to express in the animation much more immersing. I don't know, immersive. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm much more drawn into it in the way that the animation is being depicted now than I was before, and I love that.
I think it's the imperfections of animation that make it feel more human. Which is, I mean, this is also a side topic, but I think that's also why I like generative AI content is not going to last long, and I feel so confident in saying that. It's so not. I mean, you already saw Coca-Cola trying to do it, and then no one liked
people
that shit.
Dumpstered it. I think it's going to make. I think in a world, if you fast forward, let's say the world gets hyper AI creative, right? Where it's every single company's using AI to generate, and tons of content creators are just using AI to generate, right? I think it's going to have a rubber band effect, and the people who are creating their own OG original non-AI based content are going to be vastly outperforming, because they're going to be way more. It's going to shine a light on them that otherwise wouldn't be shown on them, because of the fact that there was no other competing entity of AI. And I think it's going to make that be even more popular. It's going to rubber band back, you know?
Yeah,
I think that's going to be that.
We're already in that stage, I believe, where a lot of creators are really leaning on to the AI production. And I think AI does have its place in content creation, but how
As a
lot of
tool,
people
absolutely.
are trying... Yeah, as a tool. 100%. Like, I'm not against AI conceptually. I'm against AI generative content, very specifically.
Yes. Where it is the director, producer, creator, where it is, like, without it, you don't exist. It shouldn't be that way. It should be, it's a tool that emphasizes or empowers your work and helps you create the thing you're creating, not the other way around.
Have you seen Corridor Digital's anime Rock, Paper, Scissors?
I don't. Can we watch it?
Yes, I have it right here, right now. This was very controversial when it released. I'm not going to play the audio, but like...
Yeah, we can go over it.
So this was very early.
Okay.
Like, I'd say this is probably the first AI film made. There's probably been some other tests, but like this is a finished short film project.
I think I've seen a chunk of this.
Yeah, so they recorded a lot of the action in IRL footage, but then used AI filter. I don't know the exact terminology.
Yes.
I've looked into this, but they used AI to give it that anime look, and you can see a lot of the imperfections here from early AI, but they're able to control it somehow. But when this released, it was like they had an animator's react episode on their Corridor Crew channel, where they had an animator react to this, and they had that same exact reaction when Toy Story released. We're like, oh, Pandora's box has been opened. This is, we're about to experience something completely like industry shaking.
Right.
And we have.
We have. I think this is so brilliant, though. To me, this is like an artist using a new brush, a brush that has never been seen before. You know what I mean? Like, they still had to be very creative with this. This wasn't just like, make me a show. I want this guy, and they're going to say these things. Hit enter. Like, there was clearly a tremendous amount of work that went into this. So I see it as a completely new medium, and I think this is really creative. You know, and that's the one thing that's the core of it, right? We want to make sure that we're not losing our creativity, because it strips. If you're just going like, I'm typing a sentence and it's going to give me a show, there's nothing creative there. This is creative, right? Mm-hmm. So this doesn't make me feel an ick at all.
Let me see if I can find the behind the scenes of this video. But there was still clearly a lot of work and talent and thought put into this.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so here we go. Here's some of their behind the scenes
it's
stuff.
So good. I loved this. This is what I saw.
Interesting. Like, I still to this day don't know how I feel about this video, though.
Really, I like it. I don't like
because
it.
Let me tell you this. I forget exactly what anime it is, but they pulled reference images from a specific TV series or movie, and then
I see what you're saying.
They put that into this AI pool. God, I'm not using the right terminology, but you get what I'm saying. And they referenced it based off of that.
Yeah.
But then
it's almost like they took 10 top anime artists that they liked. Let's just make it simplify it. And they're like, we want these people, if they were one guy, to make the art for this.
Right. They did do that in the next one. So they did a sequel to this. But they got a lot of backlash for using that anime, especially without any of the creator permission. Because they were essentially just taking art and taking that style and telling a computer to make it look like that. So then for this second one, I haven't even actually seen this whole thing, but they improved a lot of their techniques to make everything look a lot more consistent, and then actually hired an artist to draw a lot of the references for these characters.
That's what I was going to say. That would be cool.
So I think it was a much more ethical use of AI generation. But like, you don't ever see anyone do anything like Corridor Digital does. And again, I still don't know how I feel about this stuff. It's just so new, and it was breaking new territory so quickly.
See, and I think that speaks back to the core of what we want to make sure we don't lose, which is the creative part, right? And creativity is about taking risks, and creativity is about trying something new or going outside of the box. And even if in this circumstance they did some of those things, I'm sure they knew they were going to see some flack for it, just because they were doing something that is like, especially this back then. This is not like ChatGPT being a common, known term that everyone knows and says regularly back then, right? This is like probably like the earlier versions of these kinds of things that could have been available at the time. So I like when people are still just trying something new. Like, this wasn't prompt based, we're just gonna have this make for us.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't ChatGPT. ChatGPT didn't exist. Well, it might have.
No, I don't think it's 7 years ago. Isn't that what this said? I don't know about the sequel, but
like, no. This is only these are both only a year ago. The first one was released.
Oh wow.
February of 2023.
Oh, so
like
maybe
a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay. Still, like,
that's crazy how fast that is, though.
It is really fast. I would like for them. I do like that it's someone like Corridor digital that have been doing the 3D effect stuff as content for a very long time. It's not just like it would definitely be a different taste if it was a brand new channel that no one knew about, and then they just dropped this, without any context. You'd be like, you're not allowed to get famous off of it. Like, I feel like it's, from my perspective, it's like an experiment that they're doing, right? And I think that it's like, and they're showing the process. And I think that in itself is interesting, that they kind of did this as like almost like a case study of how it could be used or how people will be using it. Versus it being like, yeah, we want to get rich off of it. Then we're going to make a bajillion of these things. You know what I mean? We're going to pump these out, Yeah.
So Soapy said something in chat I want to point out.
Okay.
It's the unauthorized data pool and the carbon emissions that the actual computers produce that have a lot of criticism with AI imagery. I like it a lot as a tool, but could be ethically better. Yeah, I think that's probably an issue we're not going to see the solution to for a long time, I imagine.
Who knows? I agree.
I think the biggest issue with AI in general is they just, like, you saw the news about like every single episode of The Simpsons was taken and put into a generative pool for ChatGPT or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember the exact thing, but like, it just doesn't seem very ethical. Like, do they get the rights to it, or do they just do it?
That's the hardest part, right? It's in the Wild West phase. All new forms of technology and creation that take leaps and bounds and huge steps, there's always a period of time that is the Wild West. Like, I used to think about early YouTube. There was a Wild West version of YouTube. Yeah. There was a Wild West version of sharing music. Remember Napster? I don't know if you when I was a kid.
No, sorry, but I know SoundCloud.
When I was a kid, there was this thing called Napster, right? And Napster was a software that someone created where you could locally share, like you could share your digital music files from your computer locally, but distributed across whoever would want to download your music. And basically, if you were part of that software, you could allow your library of music to be pooled from other people. And at the time, it was a weird gray area because you didn't have music industries had no issue with you like buying the Britney Spears album and then giving it to your mom to go listen to. That was normal. People would share music discs all the time. So the logic of the person who made Napster was like, I'm just doing that. I'm just doing it on a big scale. I'm allowing anyone to come check out my library of music. And so people would download a bunch of different music from and create their own CDs and burn them, is what it was called, onto a disc. And you make your own albums of music that you just downloaded. And because it was in the Wild West phase and it was new territory, there was no rules. Like, there was no laws in place about doing it because that was never a concept. It was completely fresh territory. Yeah. So
that was like you wouldn't steal a car, right?
It's exactly that. That's
you wouldn't download a car, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's actually why that was created, was because of Napster, and they ended up like suing him to the ground a million times, but then it wouldn't work because, again, there was no actual laws. Like it's this whole thing. But there's these Wild West phases, and I think that AI is in its Wild West phase where there's just
absolutely
there's so many new things happening.
There's been like the writers' strike that happened like half a year ago maybe. And they took them months to get what they wanted, even to like come to a compromise. We're just scratching that surface. Now you have like the Animators Guild or Unite for Anime. I forget what it's called, but they have like the animation industry already has several organizations looking to get like compensation for not only AI but like also the all the other. I don't want to say. Pardon me. I don't want to say abuse, but the animation industry is pretty awful to work in. So they're trying to get compromises for that, which I think that's contributed a lot, especially in AI.
Voice acting is really big too. Because that's one of the ones that a lot of voice actors are in massive threat because a lot of these are language models and can pick up on voice acting fairly quickly and replicate them for companies. And if there's the issue is the one thing that we've always learned is if something can be done cheaper at the same quality, even just at a little bit of a loss of quality, it will be done by any large corporation. They will take that and pocket the difference every single time. And so that's the biggest concern, is like, if you can have this thing language model every single voice actor that's ever lived and immediately have them at your disposal within seconds, that's terrifying if you've built your entire career around being a voice actor and spending tens of thousands of hours in crafting your voice to be something that is a one of one for your characters that you voice for, you know? So it's definitely scary. And it's one of the things that I think when we talk about it, we never in a million years thought that AI would start with creatives with the knife to their throat. Because, you know, like, oh, okay, well, come on. AI might be able to do the dishes or fold some laundry, but it's never going to do the Mona Lisa. And then here we have the first version of AI that's like, here's Mona Lisa 100 ways. You know, like, you're like, well,
I think where that miscommunication came from is they misunderstood the definition of AI and mistook it for robot.
Yes,
like,
that's 100% true.
Because they're like, oh, AI is gonna come and take our job. Like, no, that's robots. When manufacturing and machining has become advanced enough and affordable enough, then your jobs will be taken. But that's not AI.
Yeah, that's not AI. Right? So, anyways, here's Mona Lisa. They're like, nah!
Yeah.
You can't just do that.
AI is such an interesting topic. Because, like, I can see good and bad in it at the moment. Because, an argument for pro AI that I can't seem to find a good rebuttal for is, like, it's offering other people an opportunity to express themselves creatively. Definitively, it is. And just because it's easier, does that make it good or bad? Like, sure, you don't get as much control, but, like, in like 2 years from now, that control is going to get even more refined. Is that a bad thing to allow people to express themselves in any way? And like, I don't think that, I mean, I definitely think it'll have an impact in the industry, but like for hobbyists, at least, it's not going to have a huge impact for it because they'll still,
You're still gonna do. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I don't care if I really don't care if somebody else can do it 1,000 times better than me or 1,000,000 times better than me, because guess what? That already exists in the world that I live in. Like in the world that I currently live in, it already people that do it better than me. And anyway, so I'm gonna still do it because I like to do it.
Yeah, it's the process of it that I personally love about everything that I create. And when that process is made easier artificially, it robs the meaning of it for me, for myself. So if I ever see AI made and posted by someone else, like, yeah, that's great if you think it's great and that fulfills you. I'm not going to get that same fulfillment from something you created. No. And then when you come for the people who are making their livelihood in that medium and you're using AI actively as a means to try to replace them, that's predatory. Yeah,
that is that's the scary part. That's the predatory part.
Yeah.
I like to like it akin to, and I learned this lesson when I was a kid as well. I was playing the Game Boy Color, and I was playing the Pokemon games, right? The early Pokemon games. And in my mind, you know, you only get the one starter, and then you're just collecting and catching Pokemon as you go, and you level them up, and it's a very long and arduous path, right? And it's harder to collect some of the, to do some of the gym badge, to get the badges, because, you know, it's hard to level up your Pokemon, whatever, right? And then this thing called Game Shark came out. And Game Shark was this like little thing you could stack on there, and all you'd have to do is put it onto your Game Boy, and then it had a list, and you could import every single Pokemon and immediately make them level 99. So I, as like a young kid, was like, oh my god, that's incredible, that's so exciting, I cannot believe that. And so the first thing I did is I connected it, I loaded it up, and I gave every single Pokemon, and I gave them all level 99, and I had all the legendaries, and I was like, this is the greatest day of my life, right? And I go to play, and a game that I had dumped probably 200 or 300 hours into, and as a kid that was probably like $50 worth of AA batteries, because that's what powered your Game Boy. So a long time. A long time. After I did that, I probably stopped playing within an hour, because I realized, and I didn't know that at the time, but once you have all those things inherently given to you and the journey is taken away and it's all just done, you then realize that the journey is what you were enjoying. It wasn't that you want and you need to get the level 99 best Pokemon. It's that the getting to that point is the fun part. And once you immediately already have the result, it's seemingly worthless, or the value in it is taken from you. So you can, I will never be in a point where I go to animate a stick figure animation and I'm gonna do a battle, and I just simply put it in some prompts and I let it be created for me and be satisfied.
Yeah, no,
It might be something that happens. Right, I could still, as an adult, buy Game Shark and play that same game and do that. But if I am going to play one of the newer Pokemon games, I don't do any trading. I don't want anyone giving me any level 99 stuff. I don't worry about any of that. I don't want that taken from me because I understand the difference in value of having something just immediately be done and the value of the journey that takes you to get there and how that feeling that you're getting is the process to that point.
Mm-hmm. Man, we need to change the title of this episode.
It's hard to make it's hard. Okay, for an episode like this, it's very difficult to make a title for because behind the scenes, what you guys don't know is we put in a lot of work, especially Hatena, into these episodes, and they're a lot more. They're loose, but there's a lot of structure behind each and every episode. And for these guestless ones, this is like our only time where we're just like, we're gonna turn the button, we're gonna hit go.
Yeah.
So
we've only done it one other time before with Seraph, but like.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but like, so the anime, for those watching in the future, the title has changed. The current title is Why Animation is Crucial, which it is. But like, I think the AI part of this discussion has been so much more intriguing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because the value. That's what it comes to. We were talking about this earlier, how you were saying like society's already pulling back on AI being used in a big way, like with Coca-Cola and people being like, hello, the only ad I ever liked. Yeah. Exactly. The only ad I ever liked when I was a kid was the Christmas Coca-Cola ad. And now you've turned that and made it this thing. I don't accept it. I won't. Even if it subjectively looks pretty and it looks good and everything, whatever, I don't care. Because I know it's icky and it's taking the humanness out of it. And I don't want that. I go get me a team that's going to put together that one that feels wholesome again. Mm-hmm. That's the one we want. Because the value is back.
I've been having a difficult time with AI lately because of my father. He's been getting really into AI generative stuff lately. And it's like, it harns back to the question I prompted earlier. Like, is it good if it's creatively fulfilling? And for a while I was okay with it. And then lately he like made designs for a t-shirt and now he's trying to sell them. Mm-hmm. Where's the legal barrier there? And where's the ethical barrier there? And how do I talk about that with him?
I think it's like, a lot of people are going to go through that phase because the pipeline for the guys in which a lot of people are learning about it is through the veil of capitalism. And what I mean by that is that how they are learning about it is okay, well, how does this change my life? You know, because you ask questions, how is it going to change my life? What does it do for me? And a lot of the things that they're pitched with is like, look, you can make your own company designs. You can make $1 million a year by doing this. You can make 10 grand a month. Here's how I make $10,000 a month selling socks, right? It's things like that. That's how it's pitched to the general audience. And that's how they're being introduced as a user, as a first-time user to experiment with it. And so I think a lot of people already have, and a lot of people, more people will go through that same phase of like, I'm going to make my own children's books. Yeah. I'm going to make my own t-shirts. I'm going to make my own logos. And then they're going to get to the end of that road really quickly and be like, okay, this isn't a long-term thing. Like I kind of bit down on the thing that was given for me to chew on. And now that I've been tasting it for a while, it's not going to sit well. And it doesn't have like a late game to it. So I think because of the veil that people have to have it presented through first, is going to cause more and more people to go through that same path. Mm-hmm. Because it's just the system we live in is designed, well, how does this make me money or how does it give me time? Yeah. Right? And so that's how it's taught to them. Man. But it's difficult. It's the Wild Wild West, man. People haven't figured it out. It's the Napster's video like, because you can make arguments back and forth forever. And until we can, as a society, really put down what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, or what should be regulated, and how it should be regulated fairly. Because again, let's say, and I know that some people, like different voice actors and animators, have already made different like terms in their agreements where it's like, yeah, you can use my likeness, you can use my voice in these things. Like you can use it in these commercials, and you can use it in these video games and these things, because I've licensed it to you, and now you can use it with my permission. That's one angle, right? Because you're like, okay, well, if it's gonna happen anyway. And it's around those people creating that art, you could see it like, wow, this is actually a great opportunity for them. Because what if What if their voice is going away, and they still want to be a creative? They can still look back at their album of work or of their career, and it could be digested by AI, and then essentially the AI becomes their new tool that is them, and that represents them, and it has to be their work that's being cataloged or data mined has to be paid for and licensed and respected and paid royalties just like they would if they played a show that they were on 30 years ago. I think that's a much better mix of today's world and the new future that's coming to pass.
And how about to bounce off of that, I think we've actually been leaning into this with deep fakes. Not we as in like the community, but like as in the industry. So there was The Mandalorian, right? I don't actually watch it, but I remember hearing when they brought, was it Luke?
Yes.
Yeah, they brought someone back without the original actor, and they just deep faked his old face onto the new person's face.
Yep.
Bringing them back. And then there was another person, I believe in that same series, that they replaced him essentially completely with CGI, but we're still using his likeness and his physical appearance, like the actor, not the character.
Yeah, it comes down to that individual, right? Because like one individual could be like, "Screw you, you're never using me. That isn't me ever," and then the other people could be like, the other same person could be like, "I'm okay with it licensed. You can use my likeness with my permission paid as if it is my own my own acting proxy. Like I'm not acting in this, but my proxy is acting, and that acting proxy is the deepfake AI that I've given you permission to hire. Like there's a way to picture and pitch it that isn't objectively unfair, I guess you could say. It could be subjectively unfair, but not objectively unfair to the people who are creating or who the content is created from. Because we've been doing that for a long time. Like that concept. Like think about and not even that old, but Tron. The newer Tron from I don't know, it was like 2000 or something.
Nah, I'm not. I never watched it.
Okay, well, in that Tron, it's in the story that there's a version of him that's digitized, right? And that digitized clone of him in that world doesn't age, right? But it looks like a carbon copy of him when he went in there when he was like 30, right? So then his real self is still in that world, but he ages like a normal human. So like 30, 40, 50 years later, he looks old, right? But his carbon copy self in that world is still like 30. And they're using his likeness and animating him of what he used to look like when he was younger. And then he's also acting in the same time. And you think about it, it's like, that's kind of a similar fashion. Granted, it's animated in CGI. It's still something based off of his likeness that even if he wasn't in the film and they had to do that, kind of like what they did with Luke Skywalker, they should just be paid for that experience as if they're the actor, since they're taking their face and likeness. We do the same thing with IPs for cartoons. You can't just take, I guess Mickey Mouse isn't a good example anymore because I think he's under like the 100-year rule or whatever. I think he's fair use now or something. Fair use,
that's the one.
Yeah, it's something because he's been past that 100-year mark or whatever for IPs, which I think that needs to be changed. Because if we can talk about that, dude, after 100 years, I think after 100 years, your original IP gets basically released that anyone can kind of use it for non-commercial uses. Like classical music is a really good example of this. Like if you might see YouTube videos, instead of having a backtrack, they might just have classical music behind it because a lot of it is fair use because it's beyond 100 years old. I think that should change because there's a lot of IPs now that I could see being continue like a legacy. And I think it would be really cool, if the Dragon Ball Z characters 200 years from now are still being appreciated and loved and not from a like elevator music level of appreciation. Because that's how I feel like certain things, when they become fair use, they become royalty free and they become abused and used in every commercial and all this other stuff. And it kind of like, I don't know, devalues how important or how impressive they could be. I don't know if that's another thing that should change because I feel like 100 years, we're living longer. Maybe with AI, we live even longer. I don't know. Maybe with technology, we don't die. Who knows? 100 years might be nothing. What?
But who gets the money after those 100 years?
I don't. Well, it should be if that corporation still exists, right? Like if Disney. I think Disney's a perfect example. Disney still exists. It's their poster child, and now he's essentially fair use, fair game, and he was like what the logo is made off of.
But I think Okay, so here's the technical issue with thinking Mickey Mouse is up for fair use now, because it's only the Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse.
Correct. Yeah, true.
Any version past that Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse
Is
still is
not.
under their copyright. And if that version of if any version other than Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse is used, then they can still either claim royalties or have that request taken down, or you sue the creator if they try to monetize off of the newer Mickey Mouses. So you could still get copyright off of newer designs of characters or shows and whatnot. I think it's just in those very specific versions of that of those characters, the thing that is copyrighted. I don't know.
Now that I think about it, though, we're a bit in the wild, wild west of that right now, because it takes 100 years for these animated characters, to be kind of join that free use era.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you go back 100 years, we were at the very beginning of like animation and film in the first place, right? Like, yes, there was more before that, but like comparatively 100 years ago till, go back 10 years in animated media is literally everywhere. Go 100 years from now, like 100 years from today. Think about every show that exists that's super popular right now. 101 years from now, all the stuff that you've ever seen right now that was made today would be essentially fair use. And that's crazy. Like the catalog difference is nuts. We're kind of in the very early bleeding edge of a lot of things entering that public domain.
Yeah. I think
10 more years for Superman enters the public domain.
Oh,
like
wow,
that's
yeah.
crazy.
That's
That's
insane.
crazy.
Did you know that Disney actually changed the amount of time that it would take for copyright to run out on any specific thing?
I do remember vaguely hearing about that, and this was going into, I think I learned about that leading into when they said that like Steamboat Willie is now
so
fair use or whatever.
It used to be like, I believe it was around 40 years initially for fair use to take effect on something that was copyrighted. And then Disney was like, nah, we have Mickey Mouse and he's huge and we can't let other people monetize off of Mickey Mouse. He's ours. And then they convinced the law to change to 70-something years. Yeah. And then they did it again where they convinced them to change it to 100 years. And then lately, I forget what the reasoning was, but they either decided they shouldn't extend copyright because now the internet's a thing and everyone can hear about everything everywhere at any time. So maybe that wouldn't have been good reputation for that because people didn't really like.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know either.
So
it's weird.
CDK says art enters the public domain when the copyright for the work expires, which is usually 70 years after the author's death. Yeah, Disney was notorious for a lot of copyright law changes.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about it because, like, I get it. Like I do. Like, if you're the original creator of a thing, and this doesn't really apply to me personally because my whole concept of RHD was like, I want everyone to use my character, or use each other's characters, and build a world freely without bounds. But I can totally understand that connection that you have with this thing that you've built your life around. Let's say if you made Mickey as an example, I guess, and then you kind of feel like it's now given to everyone else. Like, you made this thing, you designed it, you had it so close to your heart from your own soul. This is the thing that came from your thoughts, and then now it's just everyone else's just because time has elapsed. I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel like it's fair with the amount of time that needs to pass for that for it to be put into the public domain. I think it's fair because what that does is it allows other people to provide their interpretation of the character or their own version of those characters without risk of getting sued up the wazoo. But that
That's
also
true.
doesn't mean that the original creator or the company who initially owned that creation can't still do things with that same character. Because just because it's in public domain doesn't mean that
Doesn't
the
mean
original
everything
creator
that they do is canon.
Yeah. So, like, I think there would still be value in specific, say, like Goku, for example. Whenever Goku goes into the public domain, and Goku is like, there's a bunch of other studios are starting to make stuff with Goku as an IP. None of those are going to matter until the original creator or the studio that was actually animating, like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, something official was being made with Goku.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be exciting. Even though they are now in the public domain, I don't think that's going to matter as much.
That's
I
gonna be
think-
such a crazy world because, like,
Yeah.
think about how multiplicative that is. Think about that though. Like, right now, Dragon Ball Z is a great example, right? In 100 years from now, let's say that it's still around, and then the company in charge of it that owns the IP that has carried on its lineage all this time, whatever, they have their things that they make that people watch and the fans hold as true, and that is the real thing. But simultaneously, parallel, you could have complete other shows totally separate from the actual IP that is still using Dragon Ball Z or Z characters or whatever.
Yeah.
That's so trippy.
Yeah,
That's such a
like,
weird thing to think of.
It's pretty much fan fiction at that point. But you
It
can
is.
monetize it. And like I would say, like I don't ever go out of my way to read fan fiction, but like I'm sure there's some that might be better than the IP that they're actually taking from. So like, who's to say that they shouldn't monetize that? If anything, I would say 100 years is still a bit extreme.
I think that the original creator, man, it is tough.
Yeah,
'Cause
maybe
to me it's so
maybe
personal. It depends on the person.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
the original creator
some
should
people
have
be
a
like,
say.
no, I'm taking it to my grave and burying it with me, and no one takes this else otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Other people could be like, I want people to build upon this when I'm gone, and I would love for my character to live 1,000 years. It'll be like my Pharaoh's temple. You know, it's this thing that's
Yeah.
gonna outlive me, infinity and beyond. It'll give me this known reputation that outlives my small lifespan 1,000 times over. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's very unique.
Man. What a neat
Man.
conversation.
In this musty tile old chair theater.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of want to pull it back to chat for a bit because the whole point of this
Yeah.
is to kind of be interacting with
interaction.
y'all. So I might go ahead and start a question bubble. for
Yeah.
you. So for those of you who have not
That would be
appeared
great.
in the last couple episodes, I'm going to start a Q&A in the chat here, and you can press a little button and ask a question, and then we can see it directly.
I would like that.
And then we can
Question.
it could be anything. This is a whatever the fuck episode. Ask us anything.
Yeah, we just have the tab open so they'll become flying in if you use the bubble.
Yep. Anyway, can I make this a
Bam,
pop
bam,
out?
bam, bam.
I can't pop it out. Oh, that's
Oh,
perfect.
beautiful.
Ooh, wonderful.
Very much better. What movie's playing? Junkie says. What are we watching?
Dawn of the People.
Yeah, and then we watched earlier. We watched Jaws, probably.
No, that's copyrighted though. We can't say that.
Oh, not
Jers.
Jaws.
Jers. Yeah.
Yeah, not.
we
yeah,
we
Jers.
watched Teeth.
We watched. Yeah, Sea Teeth. Sea Teeth boat.
CT.
Sea Teeth boat scream.
Yeah.
We can't say it. Damn. lower mandible. Both upper and lower mandible.
Kiddo Cadix asks favorite stickman. Not even a question. They just said favorite stickman.
Yeah, the OG.
Yeah.
Just the stick.
Yeah,
The stick figure
I
itself.
like Hangman.
Hangman's pretty good. That's
I like
that's a
Hangman
strong
because
stickman.
it's kind of cosmically funny because it's traditionally a game
it
played
is.
with children, but you're drawing someone hanging themselves.
right. And the moment they become sentient, they're dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
You're like-
That's it.
Their
And you're just
life
like, oh
is
no,
immediate death.
well, I guess you didn't guess the right word, so he's dead now.
Yeah, he's just a head, arm, torso, leg, and then leg, and he's like, I'm alive.
We kind of did something like that in one of our Alan Becker like YouTube shorts, where
Yeah.
we had the stick figures play Hangman, and originally I think the joke was going to be that the Hangman stick figure would actually just die, but someone, I don't know if it was me or someone else, but we were just like, that's not right, that's wrong.
If you think about it, I'm alive.
Yeah,
Their
so
only
instead
existence-
we just had the stick figure come to life and then wave at the stick figure, and then they all ran away scared. I was like, that's so much better than him dying
so much more
instantly.
wholesome.
Welcome
Yeah.
to life. Now get choked
It's
to
the
death.
Meeseeks that's only dies. What is your purpose?
Oh man. What you're both plan to do collabs? I guess do we both plan to do? I mean, you're asking the collab guy. I'm always
Yeah.
going to be doing collabs. But what about you, Stone?
I don't know, man. really tickle my fancy, like in a
Yeah.
very specific way. Because and it's not that there aren't really great ideas out there. There's constantly really good collabs. It's a very personal thing. I have to see it, and something has to like immediately make my body take action.
But like,
And then I'll do it.
Is
Then I'll
that
do
just for
100 hours of
you?
it.
Is that for
That's
you
for
participating
me.
in a collaboration
Yeah.
or making a
For
collaboration?
participating or both. It has to immediately
Interesting.
pull strings in me creatively,
Yeah.
and then I'm all in.
I mean, I'm the same way. I guess I have more of a tick, more of a need to make a collab. There's something
Yeah.
about that medium that's just so appealing to me.
Yeah.
But like so I'm currently hosting I'm compiling the Rock Paper Scissors collab.
Mm-hmm.
And in post production, I am now hosting 2 more collabs in the collab. This collabception, so because like there's a lot of unfinished parts that I feel like the quality could raise dramatically if there was just custom animation. And there's
that's
like
awesome.
55 more entries that just opened up. So I have like this new private server that I made
love that.
for a lot of people, and I'm just like, hey, you guys can apply to participate in this again, but differently. So I can't get enough of hosting collabs. I'm hosting a collab in a collab, and then hosting another collab in that collab.
I love that.
I don't know. I'll always be making some. I'll do another synced collab eventually. I don't know. You want to choose a question?
Do you want me to go straight down the list, or should I bounce around?
Bounce around. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think whatever tickles your fancy.
Any games that you like but not many people know / talk about? That's asked by Solarium.
Good question.
Is there any games that I play? Now that I think about it, man, I am very basic. I play a lot of the games that pretty much everyone knows about.
I know a game.
I can't. I literally all of the games that I would play, you'd be like, yeah, that's a hugely world popular game. What about you?
I'm gonna pull up a video that someone made with me in this game. But like, I don't
Okay.
ever see anyone talk about this game, but it's so fun. It's a party game where you're spiders and you can swing around, but it's like duck game rules where you're given random weapons across the stage.
I love that.
But like the physics in it are so fun. So many funny things can happen.
What is this called?
It's called Spider Heck.
Spider Heck?
Yeah, but I play that with one of my friends sometimes. I haven't played with them in a while, but whenever we do, it's both really fun and hilarious at the same time. Because it's like one of those bullshit physics games, but like there are strategies and tactics that you can very easily
there's a
pick up
meta
on.
to it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So if anyone like it's super cheap as well. I think it's like $7 maybe, and they've stopped production on it unfortunately. But like, it's got so much replay value. I definitely recommend it. It's so much fun with
Interesting.
friends.
The only thing that I think would come remotely close, and this is the wrong community to even mention this in, because it will immediately be recognized, is your only move is hustle. Like that's probably the most
Yeah. Oh my god.
quote, obscure, but like
When
it's literally from
okay,
this
no, let me
community
pull
in a
up
core.
footage of that. I know someone who made a couple mod characters for that. Your only move is hustle. But I was playing that game before it was finished, like when it was announced initially, and I was
alpha,
really intrigued. Yeah, but it did have a very quick production time because I mean it is a very simple looking game.
Yeah.
But it's just so new and different. It is such a
so
good game. My only issue, like I was really into it when everyone was just finding it because everyone's skill level was the same. But
Yes.
everyone says this is like Street Fighter mixed with chess.
Yep. That's what it feels like.
And I'm so much more of a casual gamer that I like. If anything requires an extreme amount of skill to play with a lot of people, that it doesn't appeal to me anymore. You know, like the skill roof is too high for me to care. Because like I don't play competitively at all. I think it like that. I don't know how to.
So okay,
it's just not
so
appealing.
I have to say, I'm the exact opposite. Exact
really?
opposite. Yes, to such an extreme that when I see a game that I really like, I have to prepare and know, like I have to keep myself away from it, knowing that I might like devote way too much time into getting in that top 1% to be like the best of the. I love that's like the chase for me. I love that. So I totally intimately understand not liking that. Absolutely. And I actually actively, because a lot of times what happens is I will get hyper competitive in a game that I'm in, and I tell my friends and stuff like, guys, just like, okay, if we play this thing together, if I start to take it too seriously, just like let me know. I want everyone to have a good time, and that's always been the most difficult thing for me. Is like when we got like Fortnite, when Fortnite was big, right? I started playing Fortnite because all my friends got into it, and I was like, guys, you have to know, like, I'm gonna go way too ham on this. And as soon as I started getting into it, I started spending like hours and hours and hours doing like build courses. I started playing amateur pro, and I couldn't play with my friends at all anymore because we would go to play and they just want to play casual and have fun, and my lobbies were like way too sweaty. And like that's a good example, but like I don't know, I can't turn it off. But I totally understand if you are enjoying a game, then you are playing it correct. That, and I firmly stand behind that. That is the only way to play a game, is you enjoying it.
100%. Yeah, I mean, this game, I found it, and then I started playing it with a bunch of my friends, and it was really fun because it was even. It was an even game. Like anyone could win it. But
that's a beautiful moment.
Because I like to get busy with projects, and I could just, ADHD and autism, a combination of hyper focus for extended periods of insane time. By the time that I get back to the game, those same friends are now like a million times better than I will ever be. That's
I'm that guy. Future Flea, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Imagine Stone cranking 90s in Guilty Guy Skin. That's actually what I did. I was like, this is my perfect world. I was like peak Fortnite. I was doing amateur pro cash cup competitions. I was the only one running the Guilty Guy Skin because of course I would be. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was like placing in amateur cash cups in the Guilty Guy Skin. And I'm like, this is what I'm going to do.
Awesome.
But I totally get it. It sucks because like I also want to have fun with like on the other end of that stick, right? Let's say we started playing Yomi Hustle together. Yeah. And I kept going and you went and continued your normal life like a normal human person. And then I devoted the next 600 hours doing nothing but that. And that's exactly what I would do. And then you come back and like wanted to have a casual fun game again. And then every time we play, you're not allowed to move at all. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this is not fun. I'm sorry. This is not good and I understand that's not a good experience for anybody. Oh, and if you're the other guy that's crushing your friend and you're enjoying that, that's not fun. You're not cool.
Yeah, no, that's not. I'm the same way with Smash Bros and Rivals of Aether. I'm really into platform fighters, even though the majority of the community is very competitive. I'm still a casual player, but I appreciate a lot of the tech. Rivals of Aether has it's another platform fighter, but the thing that appeals to me the most is the workshop, as people can make their own characters. And I love experimenting with new characters. I love having a wide variety of play styles and characters within my disposal. But like the number of people that I can play with is very limited because I know so much about those games and those tactics and the controls. So some people I would never play with because it feels bad when it's too easy.
Oh, it does. It feels awful. I had the same experience with League, man. I've been playing League on and off for like 10 years. And I love that I can like spend forever on one champion. I once was rank 2 in North America for Zillion. I'm currently rank 34 in North America for Nefiri, which is one of the newer champions in League. But it's because I do that same thing where I just like dive headfirst into it and eat, sleep, drink, breathe that thing until I get, it's part of what I've been able to use as a skill in life to get good at a lot of things. But it's also a curse because it's like I hyper focus into that one thing, Yeah. And that has downsides.
I am going to sidetrack us slightly. There's this Twitter account called Daily RHG.
Oh yes, let's see it.
And
we need to do what we've been doing.
What do you mean?
Like after the show, we go through and look at all the stuff.
Yeah. After so first of all, here's this. They just posted this and tagged me in it. It's so funny. But yeah, after every single episode is over, like we instantly go to Twitter and look at what this person has done or all the other fan art that y'all have made. If any of you make fan art, please post it on Twitter and like use the hashtag Dojocast so we can find
We
it.
farm it.
We love
farm
it.
it.
We love it
We
so
love
much.
it so much.
In
It's
fact,
probably the favorite part.
After this episode ends, go over to the Hyun's Dojo Twitter account. We're going to be posting a template of this environment here that we're sitting in, where we want you guys to draw yourselves in these chairs.
Yes,
we want
so
you
we
to
have a
enjoy
full theater.
this film with us.
The interactive episode. We want to be everyone to be in the episode.
Truly interactive. So go over to what is the Hyun's Dojo tag? It's just at Hyun's Dojo. So head on over here, follow if you haven't already. If you want to participate in that fun little thing, then that'll be an option for you.
I love that
let's do
so
a few
much.
more questions and then maybe we'll call it.
Yeah, sorry, I totally rabbit
no,
hole the hell out of that.
These are fun. How long
Go
do y'all
for it, you
think the
pick one.
Dojo cast will last? That's a good question.
I
I
don't
have
know,
no
dude.
idea.
I have no idea until we get sick of it and can't do it anymore.
The farthest, probably the farthest we've discussed is like when we get to 100 episodes. Like,
Yeah,
like
and in
that's
person.
not like the last episode. We're talking about like what will we do on that episode.
Yeah, exactly. So that at least has been talked about. 100
Yeah.
episodes has been mentioned. Doesn't mean it's the end, but yeah.
We
That's
don't
a good
know what we're
question.
gonna do, but for the foreseeable future, we will continue doing the Dojo cast.
Yes.
So, unless Hyun decides that he just wants to quit, I mean, it's not going to be quite the same. But I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. We have left him to die quite a lot here.
Quite. Yeah.
Now, if I had a
honestly,
nickel for every time Hyun died on the Dojo cast, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's really going to happen twice.
Exactly. I still couldn't buy anything, but I would have them.
Oh man, but yeah, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Oh man, where's Hyun right now? He's somewhere in the swamp, maybe the ocean, depending on where that river.
He's hopefully fine.
Hopefully,
Asterisk.
I'll call him. I'm sure he's all right. He's a
Yeah,
grown
we'll
man.
check in. Yeah.
He'll be here. I'll guarantee you he'll be here next episode. All right.
Yes.
Oh, I hope he's all right. TJB says Bagoogly going. Thank you.
Thank you. That's actually important. That's actually critical.
Hey,
yeah.
if you've made it this far in the episode, type Bagoogly going in the comments.
Yeah, it needs to be known.
Yeah,
It needs to be heard.
Bagoogly going, bro. It's like a community meme. What should new animators be looking out for when starting out?
Ooh, inspiration. I think that's
Yeah.
critical. Find something you
Inspiration.
like that talks to you and use that as a foundation for you to mimic and grow within and then find your own style.
Yes.
Find out what you
exactly.
like.
Exactly.
Because you find what you
Don't-
like, you'll find what you don't like.
Yeah, don't worry about mimicking someone else's style too hard or too closely, because eventually you're going to grow out of it and do
Yep.
something that more suits what you're comfortable with.
Even if you don't want to, that will just happen.
Yeah,
You will
it
just
will
become
happen.
something of your own creation.
Yeah, did you ever have that period of time where you were like, oh man, I'm mimicking this person. My style was too close to this other person's. I need to be different.
Yes, but not holistically, like not like completely. It was like, oh, I'm trying blood effects, and as soon as I publish this, everyone's gonna point and go, that's that guy's blood effects, or that's that guy's trails,
Yeah,
because we
yeah.
were all learning new techniques, and it's like, oh, I literally just copy pasted is exactly what they are now doing, but adding it to my own thing. So never like completely like mimic someone wholeheartedly, like top to bottom, but definitely mimicked a lot of like techniques and styles of very specific things.
Yeah, I had
But I can't remember any specific.
I had an issue myself where I was like, oh, my style's too much like Zeta Brand or Shuriken or Natsu.
Yeah, I can see
specifically.
that.
Those
Yeah.
are the two that I was mostly taking my inspiration from. And then I tried being more unique, and it just felt wrong. So I just kind of embraced it, and then naturally over time, I found my own distinct style. So I think that's a really good tip. I'd say also, don't delete your first animations, especially when you're starting out. A mistake that a lot of people make is they'll get embarrassed of how bad it looks. It's going to look terrible when you start. No one's going to start great instantly. Everyone's going to be terrible on their first animation, their first 10, sometimes their first 100. But what that does, if you delete them, is that you don't learn from what you did wrong. So you can take those
See your
old
progress.
animations. Yes, you can see your progress.
You don't get to see your progress, which is huge.
Yes. But most importantly is that you can use those previous animations as a stepping stool to learn something else. So it's like, okay, in this one, I see that I did this well, but I didn't do a great job on this. Maybe in the next animation, I
you
can
pay more attention to it.
pay more attention to that, and then maybe try this other thing. So it's important to not. I made that mistake early on. That stunted my growth as an animator. But once I stopped deleting things, I noticed I was improving significantly quicker.
Here's one. Grim, is it Grimitator? Any people you would mention for us to go find? I don't know.
Hyun.
Like, I'll give you my people that I look to right now for, like, the that are active and posting things that interest me. Are Exhortine, TJB, Donny Boots, Tokarev. I think Hexel is another really good one. Those are some of the people I look to when they're posting stuff. I don't skip any of it, because they all bring their own unique flavors and are incredibly talented and unique. So those are some of the ones I look at.
Yeah.
But I think it's all going to be very personal, you know?
I would recommend, this isn't someone in the community, though I know some people in the community have worked for him, is Noodle. He is an animator on YouTube.
Oh!
It's like the Storytime format, but like some of his videos are so unique. Like he does some videos where the environment that he talks to you in is just a cardboard set. And it's really, I don't know. He does a lot of new and interesting things, but like that's really unique. You never see anyone else who does that.
That's so cool. I love that.
But he also does fully animated videos sometimes, and he's recently been going into this like 4:3 aspect ratio VHS style aesthetic. And he, like, the production value on these can get insane sometimes.
That's crazy.
But, like,
I love this.
They're crazy. And he did my favorite one that I don't think has gotten a lot of attention is his VR video where he talked about aspect ratios specifically. Where you can watch it in VR or, you know, right here.
What?
You know, I believe it's, WASD actually is.
That's
a little
so
wonky
cool.
on browser, but like,
But yeah, I get it. That's cool.
He does a lot of stuff that most animators on this platform don't even attempt, but it's so well done every single time, and I have nothing but respect for him. I love this guy's stuff.
That's cool. I really like that. That's really creative. That's a great pick.
All right, we'll do one more question, then we'll call it.
Yeah, sounds good.
What should that be?
Oh,
I can answer this one quickly. This won't count. What happened to the Dojo newsletter? Soapy, the creator of the newsletter, they got really busy lately, and I don't know. I can't give you specific reasons. I don't know myself, but they got busy. So I'm not sure if they'll continue it, but we don't have an answer for you. Sorry. Rather than leaving them nothing. Is it googly going or bagoogly going? Great question. It's bagoogly going.
That's a great question. Bagoogly going.
Yeah. Bagoogly going.
I just pictured, as you were saying that, an animated phonetical explanation bagoo with the hyphen and everything. Googly going.
Bagoogly going. Dojocast out of context.
It's just every single cut of us saying bagoogly. Bagoogly going.
Would you guys be getting animators outside of the dojo for future podcasts? That's an interesting question. I'd like to hear. Let us know in the comments or even on Twitter or wherever, really. Who do you want to see on the Dojocast? Because we do have a list of people.
That would be interesting.
We're still reaching out to people.
Yeah, that list does currently include people that actually technically aren't directly in the dojo community. The vast majority of them are, but there is definitely some on the list that aren't at any capacity. So
we're
definitely not a no to that. Yeah,
we're definitely open to it. We're wanting to see how far this goes. What if we could Noodle on? Oh, that'd be so cool.
That'd be great. That'd be super good.
That'd be so cool.
I want his popsicle stick cardboard cutout to be his 2 frames.
Oh my god, that's
a hand holding it, and then 2 frames of him holding it, and then moving it back and forth to talk.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, let us know who you want to see, and we'll see if we can reach out to them. I
That'd
have
be great.
connections. He has connections. We all have connections.
Yeah, they know people.
We know people.
We know people.
All right, I think that'll be it.
I think that's it, dude. This is a great episode. This was
Oh.
super chill. We did it.
We say that at the end of every episode. How do we know it's a
We
really
do.
good episode?
Because we did it.
That's true, but we do every episode though.
Then
We're the only
time.
okay. Sorry, I'm the only one here to have a perfect track record on the new Dojo cast. You came in like 2 episodes late, but like your track
true,
record is
that's
still
true.
like almost perfect. Hyun,
I'm
however,
flawless from when I started, at least.
yeah, from when you started, you haven't stopped.
Yeah, yeah. You're the OG though. You're the
so
staple.
so technically, Hyun's even more of an OG, but he just doesn't. You know, sometimes he's just like he's got
Sometimes
family
you're not
or
be
something
here.
or whatever he's doing.
Whatever, dude. I literally came home early from my anniversary. I've skipped out on Halloween party.
Yeah. Oh man.
Dude,
Yeah,
the
you
Dojocast is the highest priority
Yeah,
possible in my
it's fun.
life.
It's fun, man. I enjoy doing this. Some
Me
days
too,
it's
dude.
stressful leading up to it, but then like once the stream
Oh,
starts,
yeah.
I'm like, oh, everything's fine.
Yeah, it's literally all a mental thing. All the build up and everything leading into it right before the episode, and then the episode starts, and we're like, oh, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
It was all
how
in
do
my
we-
head.
How do we end this episode? Go to
Okay,
the
well,
Dojo Twitter.
the outro. Yeah, you need to go to the Dojo Twitter because we're gonna be posting the template right for this movie theater
Yes.
because we want all of the listeners out there that are willing and capable and excited to do so to draw yourself into this theater to be hanging out with us on this very memorable but googly going episode.
That's the movie we're watching.
Dojocast. Yeah, it's
Bagoogly
googly going.
It's not. It's
The
not
director's
going.
cut.
It's going.
Going. Oh,
Going.
bagoogly going. Got
Yeah,
it.
it's like boing, but it replaced the B with a G. Bagoogly going. Say it with me.
Bagoogly
Everyone at
going.
home, say it with me. Bagoogly
Bagoogly
going.
going.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, here is the outro. I'm gonna say it. The only topic tonight was the outro, and it's this.
Yeah.
Be sure to leave a comment on something you liked or remembered from this episode. Join us next week for episode 22 with me.
Whoa.
It's my episode.
Him.
I'm gonna be the episode guy.
He's
So
going to be
next
the
week it's
episode.
me. I'm the episode guy. Yeah, it's gonna. I will be the guest on next week's episode. So join us. Then leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.